I'm so happy to be here today, and I'm glad that all you is here to witness my third motivational speech. This is literally just a dream come true. It's only my third one, but I'm still glad to be doing it because it's God's plan for my life, and it's also my plan, so it works out perfectly. So I'm gonna start off with telling my story of how I got done. So me and my dad was cooking out one day. It was actually May 29th. It was sometime in the afternoon, May 29th. Me and my dad was just cooking out, steaks, hamburgers, and that type of stuff. I was standing behind my dad, and all of a sudden it just exploded like that. To this day, I still don't know how it happened. It happened so fast, but I'm glad it happened though, because I'm doing this now. So it just randomly exploded. It didn't get my dad at all, and it only got me. I was standing behind my dad. It only got me, and as soon as I caught on fire, I was just running, screaming in fear, nothing but pain. It's the worst pain in the world, and I was just screaming in pain. I was in so much pain. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know to stop, drop, and roll. So my dad told my brother Jacob to push me down. So, and at the time, we had a gravel driveway. So he pushed me down from my back. I went down the palms of both my hands. I remember I was looking down, my face was on fire. I just seen skin hanging off the palms of both of my hands. Raw skin. And then I was just screaming in complete pain. And my dad told my brother Jacob to go get a blanket off of a motor in the garage. He did that, and then he gave it to my dad, and my dad wrapped the blanket around me, and that's how the fire was put out. And then I remember my dad asking me, Austin, are you okay? Can you see me? I was like, yeah, I can see fine. And that's the story of how I got burnt. If I was able to go back to that day to change what happened, no, I wouldn't, because everything happens for a reason. So you gotta find out the reason why something happens to you, and turn it into something good. And because sometimes when stuff happens to you, it may seem bad at the time, but if you think about it, it's actually meant for good. That's what I have done. I've turned all that stuff into great things. And over time, I mean, this has been my dream for many years, and I just recently started doing it because God has been just talking to me so much lately. That's how He gives me my motivational quotes. I have currently 74 motivational quotes created, and all by myself, except for God. I mean, He helps me all the time on those and how I know that is because they randomly come to my head at random times. There's times that I have to think, but most of the time, it just randomly comes to my head. That's how I know that God is talking to me. That's one of the main ways that God talks to me. And then sometimes He'll talk to me and give me YouTube video ideas. He'll just give me any ideas. And over time, when I was younger, I wasn't mature at the time. I wasn't necessarily being myself. I wanted to fit in with people at school when I was in a public school system. So I created my own YouTube channel, and then I didn't realize it at the time, but I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't. And so over time, to make a long story short, I mean, yeah, it kind of helped to do all that stuff, but I mean, then again, I realized that God wanted me to be myself. That's what He wants out of everybody. He wants you to be yourself. He doesn't want you to be anybody else. And I also have created quotes that I have on being yourself. And so to keep going, you have to be yourself. You can't be anybody else. So over time, as I matured up, God started talking to me, and He basically said that, hey, you ain't being yourself. You need to go onto basically like a new path in life. So that's what I have been doing. I'm going to continue it until I die because like I said, I mean, it's His plan for my life and it's also mine. So it works out perfectly. And I also have I wrote down some quotes of mine. I wrote some of them down so I can give them to you word for word, so I don't miss out on anything. So, one of them is, be yourself, you can't be anybody else. So that's like saying, when I was trying to be somebody else, I didn't realize it at the time. But once I matured up, God was telling me that I wasn't being myself at that time. So that's when I started a new path to create a different, completely new YouTube channel, completely something different, something that is actually meant for good. And another one is, you can try and be somebody else, but you can't be anybody else. You can try so hard to be somebody else, to try and fit in, to do any of that stuff, but you can't, because God created everybody in a unique way. He creates all of you in here. He created you all in a unique way. He just wants you to be you. And if you try to be somebody else, it doesn't matter. If you try it for 20 years, trying to be somebody else, you're wasting your time, because it won't work. Another one is, don't try and be somebody else. So this means exactly that. When I was younger, I wasn't mature. I didn't realize what I was doing was wrong. And it wasn't necessarily wrong, but it was sports videos and stuff like that. But I tried to fit in. And I didn't realize that I fitted in perfectly just the way that I am. I just didn't realize it. And like I said, you can try and be somebody else, but it's just a waste of time. It's a waste of time. But yeah, don't try and be somebody else. It's best to just be you, be yourself. And then another one is confidence and positivity. So people usually ask me, how do you have so much confidence and positive attitude after what happened to you? Well, I build it up. I build it out from inside my body, and I use it for good. And it's also God helping me too, all the time. And when I was younger, I didn't have much confidence and positivity. I had basically like a negative life. And no, I didn't let my scars get me down. I never have. But I didn't have much confidence. I didn't have much positivity. So there again, God and myself, we worked together, and I was like, I'm done. I'm done being a negative person. I'm done. One day I was just like that. I'm done. And God has helped me all the way through it. And I was like, I'm going to turn my life into a positive and confident life. And how I done that was with the help of God and myself. We worked together. And then I realized, once I changed my life into a positive and confident person, into a positive and confident lifestyle, my life changed for the better in so many ways. You wouldn't believe it. Because once you have a positive and confident attitude and positive lifestyle and confident lifestyle, it turns out to be such a great thing. And I realized that when I was a negative person and I turned into a positive and confident person and lifestyle, it impacted me in so many great ways. It's unbelievable.
You find peace in
Yeah.
yourself.
Exactly. And I also have great quotes on that. All about myself and the help of God. One of them is, if you start to lose confidence or positivity, find something to boost it right back up immediately.